right?
And we're live.
Okay, here we are again.
Good to be back. Let's talk about the World Cup.
The World Cup. Everybody's talking about the World Cup.
Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's watching it. The most watched sport in the world, the most played sport in the world.
Amazing.
It's huge.
And these guys are just unbelievable, the skills they have.
Yeah.
Like Messi, Ronaldo. I mean, these guys are incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It was sad to see Ronaldo go, Cristiano Ronaldo, because you want to see him play. It's probably his last World Cup. And I think he's 36, 37.
I think he's 37. 37, I think he's 37.
So, this is his last one because it's every 4 years. And it's sad to see him go. But
he's in great shape. I mean, what is it? This is his fifth, right? His fifth World Cup, I think.
I think so.
So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Messi too. I think Messi's been there, I think 4 times or something like that.
These
guys are just incredible. The level of performance that they adhere to.
Yeah.
It's a science now to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Now, some people say Cristiano Ronaldo, he's impeccable because he's learned it. And some people say that Messi's natural and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a connoisseur by any means. I saw a video the other day of Messi playing when he was a little kid, and he was impressive back then when he was a little kid. So, and Messi himself says, God touched me. God gave me this gift. Without God, I would be nothing. And then he says, of course, I tried to develop it to the best I could, but this is something that was given to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. When you see Messi, you see God-given talent plus a bunch of training, and he was in with, I think, Barcelona, like he was super young. I mean, they got him really early. They even gave him growth hormones and everything.
Oh,
because,
yeah?
Yeah, because he was very little. They call him La Pulga. So he's a little guy still. Well, now I think he's normal height. I don't think he's that small. But when they got him, he was very little. And so the team saw the talent in him in Barcelona, and they gave him growth hormones, and and look at him now. But Messi,
he's superhuman.
You see God-given talent, and Cristiano, you see hard work. It's interesting how the difference between the two. Yet they both have put up numbers and records, and they're both extremely talented. Cristiano Ronaldo just got an offer with I believe, Saudi Arabia team for 200 million a year or something like that. Yeah, like 170 million euros
or something like that.
But I think a year.
Right. So I think now he will become the highest paid athlete in the world with something like this. Look, both of them have brought the, soccer to an ultimate high.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, and people that never saw the game are watching it, and they're excited about it and jumping up and down.
Yeah.
There's even a Facebook commercial where this dog is watching the soccer game, and when they score the goal, the dog jumps up in the air and falls off the couch.
Yeah.
It's funny. So, but these guys are great. The level of endurance, commitment, discipline, and a lot of these guys that are into sports like this make very good business people and anything else too, because you need discipline and apply yourself. You need to be committed. You have to, your goals, have to be aligned with your vision, all this stuff. So these guys are the ultimate driving machine. I mean, these guys are incredible.
Yeah. And the longevity in the sport. But when we got together with one of our friends who owns a Portuguese restaurant, cafe, and he was saying that now Portugal is on the map and that the community knows about Portugal. And you said, well, Cristiano Ronaldo helped a little bit too, I'm sure, with that, because he really is the only name that we know from Portugal. I mean, there's a lot of other great players, but he's the one that's always been on top.
Right.
It's Messi and Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, I think I read somewhere that I think Cristiano Ronaldo said, you know, we've been sharing the stage for 9 years, and it's either him or me or whatever.
Yeah.
And what I like is that there's no animosity between them. I think they get along real good. But I think they're friends, and so that's beautiful to see because you know on the field they're competitors.
Yeah.
And they go out to each other with the best they've got. But off the field, they can maintain a friendly relationship. And really, that's something that we got to teach all our kids, you know? That, you know,
It's a good example.
Yeah, they're both excellent examples. They're both very grounded, I think.
Well, that's one thing that you've brought, you're really into, like you've looked into the history or the life of Cristiano Ronaldo coming up, and I don't believe he came from very modest, humble beginnings.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't have anything to eat at times. He would go to this McDonald's in Portugal, I believe, and he would knock on the back door, him and a couple of his friends, and they would say, hey, do you have any leftover burgers or something like this?
Wow.
And the ladies there would give him something to eat. And he is actually now in his older life that he's extremely successful looking for those ladies. He wants to find them and bring them to his house and have dinner with them, and I'm sure reciprocate back now that you know he's so successful economically, and you know he's got a good family. He's got a very nice family. His wife is from Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Interesting.
it sure is. It's a nice chemistry, you know, when Argentina plays and Messi's playing, you know, she's got to root for her husband, right? Because I mean, you know, but
that's a good point.
When he's not involved, then I'm sure she's rooting for Argentina. So,
yeah.
And it's an example of how we all are in this place together, on this earth, you know, together.
Yeah.
You know, he married a lady from Argentina. So we could say that she married a guy from Portugal, or they're together, right? Yeah. And so, you know, I'm sure that, and we have family members where the wife is from Argentina, the husband from Mexico, and during the soccer season the house is divided, yeah. You know? It gets tense, yeah.
Well, that's one thing that about Cristiano is that the people, let's say the haters, right, which he has plenty of, talk about he's got a big ego, he's got a chip, he's got, you know, he's cocky, and I'm sure some of it was maturing, right? He's maybe matured, and some of that is toned down, maybe, but he's always into fights with the coaches or different things like that. Doesn't get along with certain people. It's interesting because you know, maybe that's part of the rough, you know, the humble beginnings. He's got this chip or something on his shoulder. But you look at a lot of other players in any sport, they all seem to have like this chip on their shoulder. I think Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, they kind of have this, they're very confident in their abilities, and it gets to the point of sometimes it comes off a certain way, like they're cocky. You know?
You know, I don't agree with that. I have a different opinion than you on that. I think he came from humble beginnings, yes, and I think Messi did too. And so the beginning is rough, okay? The beginning is rough, but as you continue to evolve and the money starts coming in, the money, okay, and you continue to be successful, sometimes for young people and even older folks, but mostly younger folks, okay, it's hard to stay grounded. When you got all this huge amounts of money coming in for your skills, and you know that your skills are at the top elite level,
Right.
okay, um, you can get cocky. And potentially you will get cocky, and you think you're, good and all this
God's
thing.
gift
Yeah, God gives to
to mankind.
humanity,
Yeah.
but but it's hard to stay grounded when you're young and all this stuff is coming in. I've heard that from many people that were young and became very successful all of a sudden
At a young age.
at
yeah.
a young age, that they didn't have the ability to grow slowly into this success. And even when you do, um, money and power will have a tendency to change people.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay grounded. Um, but I think that, and you're right. He's probably a little cocky.
Where do you think that chip comes from then? That cockiness? Because you're saying it's not necessarily
I think
from
it's confidence.
his confidence.
I think that you have to believe so much in yourself that there's no room for doubt that you're going to fail.
Mm.
There's just no room for doubt. I think it's a tremendous amount of confidence that gets perceived by the rest of us as cockiness. There is a very famous football player that came out recently, and by recently I mean, I don't know, maybe a year ago, maybe more, where he was giving a statement. He was being interviewed, and he says, "Forgive me if my confidence offends you."
It was I think Terrell Owens is his name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I should know.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I saw it. He was wearing a suit, and he was on stage, and
He was on stage.
Yeah, and he was saying, "Yeah, forgive me if my
Yeah.
confidence offends you."
Yeah, he was on stage with another guy that was dressed in green. He had a
Yeah.
green suit on.
Yeah, I saw.
And so,
I think his name is Terrell Owens.
okay, well, he says, "Hey, forgive me if my confidence offends you."
Right.
Like he could care less. He's a very, very good football player.
Right.
And so I think that sometimes being overly confident can come across as being cocky.
Mm.
But I think that these guys need that. They need this to survive at the level that they are. Because to compete at that level, you have to be elite. You have to be like tremendous skills in your craft. And also that confidence serves as a shield. Because when you are in that limelight, like you say, you've got a lot of haters, you got this and that, and maybe it's a form of developing some kind of protection, psychologically, physically. There's no room for doubt. You gotta break through and be extremely confident. That's my interpretation of it, and I really liked what he said. I took it to heart, and he says, "Hey, if I'm sorry if my confidence." Cool. Super cool.
Now Sunday, in a few days, is the final for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Where
I can't wait.
Messi is gonna be, in the final, and then against France, Argentina against France. How do you see that going down?
I'm all in for Argentina.
Yeah.
Not only my best friend is from Argentina. I'm surrounded by people from Argentina. They've been tremendously influential in my life. Your madrina is from Argentina. Paul's. I mean, I love Messi. I think he's just like the best player.
Yeah.
I like Ronaldo a lot too. Okay, it would have been tough for me to go Messi and Ronaldo. Of Portugal. This is an easy pick for me. Nothing against the French. I love them too.
I like France too.
I'm going for Argentina hands down, and I think
it's gonna be a tough game.
It's gonna be a battle.
France is returning champion, and
yes, but I think Argentina is gonna take it.
Yeah.
My money is on Argentina. What do you think? Where will you bet your money?
Wow. I think Argentina's coming in with a lot of heart.
Oh.
So, I'd like to see Argentina take it. But I really like France and the players on that team.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're
And Mbappe
oh
is, I mean, gonna set records if he's able to handle the fame and the success that he's having, because he's only 24, I think. He's in his early 20s.
oh, but he's exceptional.
He's already setting records. So if he's able to handle that, he will. But they're excellent. It's an excellent team. Also, that's the thing. Argentina is coming in strong with a lot of heart, but France has been on that. They won it last time, so they're coming in maybe with a lot of confidence, which could hurt them. It could hurt them because they think they got it.
And they are cocky, and you see it on the field.
Yeah.
Like for example, the kid that scored the goal for Argentina when they were playing against who was that, Netherlands?
In Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that game between Argentina and Netherlands, I thought I was gonna have a a multiple syncope, a stroke, you name it, man. I mean, it was, oh my God.
One of the best matches I've seen recently. One of the best matches.
So Netherlands, what do they call them? The green machine or something like that?
The orange machine.
Oh, the orange. I mean, they played with a lot of heart.
Oh, yeah.
And to score that second goal. Anyway.
Yeah, for those watching, watch that rerun of Netherlands-Argentina. That was... You're on the edge of your seat the whole game. And they tie it on the last play of the it was the last play of the time that was added.
It was the last play, period.
Yeah, to the second half, and then they had to go into extra time. And that's the thing, I don't like when games go to penalty kicks, because I wish that it would be resolved in extra time or on the field, because penalty kicks it's a guessing game, really, for the goalie.
Yeah.
But
those are the rules.
Those are the rules, yeah.
But and you see it because I think that the kid that scored the decisive goal, I forget
for
his
Netherlands.
name. Yeah, he's got his hair. There's a part there when the goalie from the Netherlands comes and gives him the ball. Have you seen that part?
Yeah.
And then they kind of push against each other, and he goes, that's confidence on both sides. That's don't mess with
mind
me.
games too.
Yeah, mind games. Don't mess with. And Mike Tyson talks a lot about that.
Yeah, you can. Well, that's one thing that McGregor, if we're gonna talk top of the food chain, McGregor was able to do, which I know you've been a huge fan of, and you got me into him, and then Sean, my buddy. I mean, McGregor was able to talk the talk and get into these guys' heads. So the fight was they were already losing on the way in against McGregor.
Well, Tyson says it. He said one time, I already knew I was going to win the fight before I started it. The way he stared him down.
Wow.
You can spot the weakness in your opponent. And Tyson...
They were like prey.
Yeah, Tyson is just on another level.
Oh, yeah.
Now, McGregor, I love everything about the climb.
Yeah.
When he got up there, McGregor's done a few things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay? Which I think somewhat tarnishes a little bit.
Yeah.
There's just... Well, but it's tough to stay grounded up there. All this money and power, and like you just said, how do you say it, Mbappé?
Mbappé.
You just said it. If he can handle the fame,
yeah.
Because after so many people want a piece of them. So many people want to party with them.
Oh yeah.
They'll be,
Well, he's already in the top.
Women all over the place.
Yeah.
Parties, drinking, and other things, of course. And so you need to stay. I saw an interview with Maradona, and Maradona said to this gentleman in Spanish, he said, can you imagine what I would have been like if I hadn't tried this. I think, he was referring to, I think, drugs. Okay? Can you imagine? And then the camera goes close on him, and he couldn't be more honest in that moment. He was talking to the world,
Yeah.
to kids on something that he had done that he regretted. Maradona.
Another God-given talent. He ended up going the route of drugs, mafia. He got into a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, they were. And then you see it. I mean, I was talking to my buddy, who was talking about Puig, which we were all proud. He's Cuban. He's doing all these things, and then now he's involved in. He's never been able to handle that fame. It seems like, and now they're coming after him for having bet on games. So I don't know what it's gonna end up with, but we've seen it. Pete Rose was known for doing that, but the contracts that these guys are getting in soccer, by far, are bigger than any other contracts. That's the thing. Like when you hear about a baseball contract, some of these best players, 5-year contracts, and they're making like, 100 and something million. But these are 5-year contracts, and then you hear Cristiano Ronaldo in 1 year he's getting paid $200 million, just not even including endorsements. It just shows you the level of what soccer, football does, in the world, and the fans, and how much money is in that, because it's bigger than any other sport.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know that you're dealing with fame at the highest level. It's not just known because, baseball and all these sports are well known. Everybody knows Kobe Bryant, right? But everybody and their grandmother and daughter knows Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi.
And Messi, yeah.
And, Ronaldinho at the time.
Ronaldinho.
And he was a player that, Ronaldinho, in my book, is one of the most talented, just from what I've seen, one of the most talented, God-gifted players, but the fame got to him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ronaldinho, I mean, I've seen him score some goals that, even when you see it 2, 3 times, 4 times,
And one thing is that he looked like he was having fun on the pitch. He was having fun on the field. And, but... yeah, I don't know how these guys handle it, to be honest. I mean, that level
it's
of
got to
fame.
be tough.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough. And so that's what takes him down. Yeah. If you don't have strong moral character,
Yeah.
It's got to be tough. And, we're all human. It can happen to anyone, okay, that gets propelled quickly into the limelight somehow.
Yeah.
It's something that you need to be very conscious of and be very careful, because it'll take you down, okay?
And another thing, when you get to that level, is now you're looked at as like a role model. You need to be a role model to people. It's not just be a good soccer player or, like McGregor. It's not just, now you're looking at the whole thing and, fame and what money and power, and maybe he did some things that, he was a wild guy. I think he was always like that. I just think that, like they say, money doesn't change you. It just amplifies who you were. What do you agree with that, or you think it can change you? Money and power and...
I think that... money can amplify who you were, okay? So I think that when you have a lot of money, it will amplify the person that you were at your core, okay? I think that. An excessive amount of money, if you're not careful, yeah, I think it could change.
It could change you,
yeah. It could change you, but why does it have to change you for the worse?
Right.
Why can't it change you for the better? There's a lot of people that are very, very wealthy that do many, many good things. Charity work. They donate money left and right. At the end of the day, how much money do you really need to survive one day? You know, you can only eat so much food. Even if you're drinking, you can only drink so much until you drink yourself into the ground. But, or you know, how much?
That's a good point that you bring up, because we only hear about the negative.
Right.
How money changed you in a negative way.
Right. There's a lot of people that are very good people that use money to help others. One idea that comes to mind, this was in Europe. I think it was Eastern Europe. I don't know exactly. It was one of the Russian countries, or where
Soviet.
this, yeah, somewhere near there. I think what it was this factory that burned down, and there were like 200 people that were left. I'm butchering this. It's not exactly this, but it's similar. The story is there were like 200 people or 150 people left without jobs. And the owner of the factory was a very, very wealthy man. And what he ended up doing is all the money that came from the insurance to rebuild the factory, he donated every penny evenly and equally amongst all the workers. And it was in the millions of dollars. I mean millions, because this was a huge place. And he was asked, why have you done this? I mean, everybody...
It was the money that came from where?
From the insurance. The factory burned down.
Got it.
The factory was insured.
Oh, I see.
And the money that came from the insurance, he rebuilt the factory with his own cash. Okay? And you're talking about a very wealthy man. And then he gave that money to he divided it amongst all the workers while the factory was being rebuilt. We can Google that later and put it in the link if you want, because I'm butchering the story a little bit. But the point is, he was asked, why do you do that? And his reply was, well, how much money do I need to live out the rest of my years? Or how much money do I need, how many... If I were to eat a lobster, how many lobsters can I eat in one sitting? In one sitting, I mean, and so it was very logical.
Yeah.
He took the money, and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna build a factory, no problem. I'm gonna donate the equivalent of this amount to everybody that was working there, so they can wait while the factory is being built, and then they come back to work."
It's interesting.
So, it's the way you handle it.
Yeah. I think it's good to bring up positive stories where people with money are doing good things.
Yeah.
I had this idea, I think it was my idea, I don't even know anymore. They say no idea is original anymore, but of a news channel that was only positive news. So you switch to channel 100, all you're going to get is positive news from people that did good things, charity, all positive.
Whatever.
Because everything on the news has become negative.
Oh yeah, I don't watch the news anymore, and I haven't for years.
It's one of those things that you turn it on, that the world's gonna be falling apart that day.
I don't get my news from.
You have to get it independently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if not, you'll just go into a spiral, and it doesn't matter what channel of news now. You can put on any news channel. It doesn't matter. Majority of it is negative.
That's what David was saying.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. I don't listen to the TV news. If I hear of something, I do my own research. I check it out on my own.
Yeah.
And even that, sometimes when you're doing your research, you have to figure out
the source.
It's a reputable source.
Yeah.
Because there's so much junk out there that you could be getting.
That's the thing. Before, it was just a few sources of fuentes, a few. You only had like a couple newspapers and a couple, and now it's unlimited, and anyone can put something up.
Right.
So that's good and bad, because now you have to do a little bit more research. But eventually, they say that the truth is like a lion. No one needs to defend it. It can defend itself.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Beautiful.
You want to end on that note?
Let's end on that note.
All right.
Thank you.